Okay, if you're able to see the Workday screen, please let me know. Are you able to see the screen where you have the
Yes.
Workday? Okay. So as I stated, if you remember that this is the search box that I'm going to use every time. Okay. So I will change the user first of all. I'll try to proxy as a user. Okay. This particular task you will understand when we go into chapter. I believe it is chapter 6. Okay. And I'm going to use Adam. So you can use any user. There is no problem. You can continue using the user which you will get by default. But if you're facing challenges, let me know. I will try to help you with that also.
Quick question. Is this all done in the which environment usually we do configurations in?
So Workday has 3 to 4 types of environment. All right. Generally, you will see every development which is done is in sandbox. Okay. So you will have sandbox, you will have production, you can have multiple sandbox. One is development, one is UAT, and that then can be a production. And you will have one training instance also. So that is also more like a sandbox itself.
Mhm.
Okay. So what we are using here, it is a training instance. Okay. So here you will see that there are permissions which is not even assigned properly. There are challenges which you will face because this is a training instance and this is the best you can get at the moment. You will not be able to get a production environment because for that you would need license, and you will also not get any you can say any instance where you can do any kind of user creation or something, because that also would require license, and license is not available without it. Okay, so yeah, any other questions if you have? Okay.
So in real life, when we are doing some sort of starting up something or configuration that's done in a sandbox,
Yes, that's true.
and then it's pushed to production after testing and all that.
Yeah, it's migrated, but not everything is migrated. You will have to do some manual tasks as well when you go into the production, because in Workday there are a lot of things which will take time, or you don't have an option to even do that. The integrations are migrated, the reports are migrated. um, you can migrate the security groups for permissions, but not every configuration. Okay, that we will see how exactly that is done, but not actually a real-time deployment, but I'll show it to you basically how you can use it, because everything will have the same type of process. The process will not change. Okay, so now what I said, we will try to create a location, and then I said that this is a search box that we are going to use it on a daily basis, because as a consultant I am not going to do anything which is with points and clicks. Okay, all my task, Workday is a task driven tool. Task basically means you will have to type the task, you will have to remember the task, then only you will be able to do it. So the first thing that you see here, I'll type in create location, and if you see, I'll just type in the first 3 letters of the task and I get it, right? Create location. So this is a very sensitive search box that you have. If you have the permission, you will get it instantly. Even the first 3 letters of the task, if you type in, you are going to get that value. If you're not able to type, if you don't remember, you can still do a hit and trial, right? So this is the way Workday helps you. And again, you don't need to type in everything, the complete word. The first 3 letters are enough, and when you hit enter, you will get the screen which helps you to create the location. All right, so you see I get the task. I'll click on it and it will ask me the location name and location usage. So this becomes very important, and you see both of them are mandatory. So where exactly this value will be stored? This value is going to be stored in the business object, which is location. Okay, So the last session I explained to you what is a business object, right? Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Right? So it is basically a table in which your values are getting stored, and the columns and the values of it, you will enter it from here. So when we have to create a location name, we can create anything, but it should be a valid location. And guys, as this is a practice tenant, again, one more thing I wanted to specify, that you always have to use a code. Okay. So let's say I'm creating something like WLE and I'll put 7. So it is basically like Workday Learning 7 p.m. batch. For me, I have put this in this way. You can put any code, maybe your first name, the initials of your first name and your last name, and put underscore or whatever you want to do, and then type in the value. Why I'm saying it? Because let's say I'm creating a location as Delhi. So this is a practice tenant. You may have hundreds of Delhi here. It is quite possible. Let me show you. If I have, mm, let me search Mumbai. So this is people, right? So if I click on more categories, I'll scroll it down. Okay, you see organizations. Now 27 organizations which has Mumbai. Which is ours? How will we know? So for that purpose, what we do is we go ahead and remove this, and I will say WLE7. That's my code. Don't copy this code, otherwise you will, and I will also get confused. And then I can go ahead and create anything with this. So first, let me type in the task, create location, and let's say WLE7 underscore. What do you want to put location? Mumbai. Let's put Mumbai. And then usage. So guys, you will get multiple options here. You see that? Asset, site, campus, housing, instructional, inventory. And if you scroll it down, you will get a lot of things. But for us, it is very important as a best practice that we choose business site. Why we need to choose business site? There is a reason for that. What is the reason? If I don't choose business site, I will not be able to hire people. So there are certain limitations. So we always have to follow this. So the business site has to be chosen because you really want to hire somebody at this location. That's the reason I'm going to choose it. Okay. Any questions?
No. No.
Oh
Hello.
gosh, I lost my chain of. So for example, the first step is you do create location, and then the second step was you search on the top, you put WLE underscore Mumbai and you clicked on it and it
No,
gave you this option. Oh, did I
no.
miss?
I typed in the task. What was the
Mhm.
task for creating location?
CRE
Create
space.
location. Create
Yeah.
location. That's your
Create,
task.
yeah,
Okay.
in the
When
search
you,
bar.
yes,
Yeah.
in the search bar. So when you do that, it will give you a screen, basically a pop-up, which will ask you to for two values. It will ask you for the location name and location usage.
Mm.
That's the place where I typed in WLE
Yes, yes,
7
yes, yes.
underscore Mumbai and then the usage. And that's the thing you see here also.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is my detail page. So in the detail page, it is asking me to define few more things. None of them are mandatory. If you see here, none of them are mandatory. Why? Because it depends upon your client. When they give you such requirement, they will tell you whether you need to fill in this or you don't need to. That's the reason it has not been put as mandatory. Location type, if you look into this, it will give you the options: building, cubicle, headquarters. What is that? Okay. Location attribute, just some values. Now these are all values which is not created by us or by Workday, right? This has been something which has been put by security administrator of this tenant. That's the reason we are seeing these values. So you can ignore this, right? But this is just for your understanding. How exactly are we going to do this? Okay. Superior location, external URL. If you want to type the default ship to location, you can do that. You can put the coordinates. Now, you all know that a lot of organization basically uses Google services, right? Where they can embed the maps as well to give you the exact location. If you put it in your coordinates here, that will point the exact address on the location map. So that makes it little better to use. Okay, latitude, longitude, and altitude. So that is how exactly it works. Then we have contact information. Now this is important. Why? Because this is the first location we are creating, so we have to have an address. Without the address, you will not be able to set it up. Now we have given the location of country is location Mumbai, so the country should also be India. Okay, address 3rd Street. I don't remember any address. I'm just putting it like that. Statesman House, city. Okay, maybe something else I'll have to put. What should be the location? Any location of Mumbai you want to tell me?
Bandra.
Okay. City is Mumbai. Postal code 500-023. I don't know if that is correct or not, but it will take it because there is no validation rule here. State is Maharashtra.
But
All right.
validation can be created?
Yes, validations can be created if you have the permissions, or you can say to Workday that we need validation. But generally, none of the organization would do it, to be very honest. Reason? If you have put a validation, it will take a valid PIN code, and there may be a possibility that you want to add a PIN code which is not on the map. You would not be able to do it. So that will give you a big problem. So these validations are generally not done. You will
What
see this
about
validation.
mandatory?
Yeah,
Sorry.
these validations you will see in US.
Uh-huh.
US customers, they would use it. They would use a lot.
They will use a lot.
Right. The reason is they want to have the actual address of the office or the location so that it can be put on their maps.
But then again, security administrator will come into picture, or we ourselves can do it as a function?
If you have the permissions, you can do it. If you don't have, then you cannot.
Okay. And what about this mandatory fields? If I want to make state also mandatory?
That for that purpose, when the initial requirement is gathered by Workday, at that time you have to specify it. Because
Initial.
these are, yeah, the initial setup is always done by Workday. We don't do it.
Okay, when they deliver the product.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they deliver the product, they will set these options and give it to you. These options that you're seeing, all those options, they will set it up.
Okay.
But they will also give the permission to maybe one of the employees, or if they have the a contract that they will be maintaining the system, then they will not give that option as well. So every time you will have to raise a ticket with them to make any fundamental or these changes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you see this option, and you see this option one more, which is primary, right? So I will have to check it. If I don't check it, I'll get an error. Now, why I will get an error, I will show it to you. I already checked it and it read it out. Okay, that's no problem. But yeah, this is the way how you add your address, and there are other other options like phone, instant messenger, web addresses, all those things, email. You can put it here also. Okay. So anything that you have not understood on this place?
So you said if you don't check, you will get an error for this primary thing.
Yes, I will tell you why you will get it error. I will let you know. But till here, what is the?
Yeah.
Is there any doubt?
If you don't check.
Yeah, by default it will come. If you want to remove it, you can. See,
Okay.
when you are putting a location, right? You are
Okay.
putting an address for what purpose,
Okay.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
There must be some reason why you need an address. So it could be your billing address, it could be your shipping address, it could be any other addresses that you want to put in. All those information you can type in there. Then comes the most important part, which is your business site. Now this is configured as per your locale. What is your locale? What do you understand by the word locale?
Uh, area, kind of zone, something.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
It could be wrong.
That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, but tell
Uh,
me.
locality kind of thing, like more specific to specific geographical location or region.
Locale is basically very close to your language. What language are you following in that particular
Mm.
area or region? Okay. So when we set up a company and we have to decide what location and language are we following or using, based
Mm.
on that, you will have your labor laws. So you all know that every country has their own labor laws, right? They will
Yes.
define that what is the official language in which I'm going to proceed with my work. So if I talk about India,
Mm.
there are multiple languages that you have, right? Do you know that or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
are in Maharashtra, it could be Marathi as one of the languages. If you in South, could be multiple languages, right?
Mm.
So there is one which is common, and then there are regional languages as well. So as per your location, what is the locale you are choosing? And there will be one labor law. That is where your time profile will come into picture. So here, if you see, time profile is mandatory, right?
Mm.
You see a red star. Now, what does that signify, or what does this mean? You will have to put a valid standard hours of working.
Mhm.
Now, what is a valid standard hours of working? Who can explain that?
That are set by the Department of Labor, the hours that this is basically for people that clock in and clock out, hourly employees, I guess, just
Not
to kind of.
hourly employees, it is applicable for everybody.
Oh,
So when you work in an organization, guys, you will have a definite work time that,
mm.
okay, I have a 8 hour or 9 hour window. Okay. I will be working 8 hours or to 9 hours in a day. I will not work beyond that,
Mhm.
right? It could be 9 hours of total work time, and 1 hour in that it could be your break time. So total work time, that is 8 hours. 8 hours is your productive time, and that is what is calculated. So if I say standard hours weekly 40, what
Mm.
does that mean? 8 into 5, that is your 40 hours. Okay, are you getting the point?
Yep.
Yes.
So
Yes.
every organization has to define their standard working hours, and generally it is 40. In India also, you will see people working for 40 hours in a week, not beyond that. And now, the labor laws have changed, that you can work 48 hours in 4 days and you can take 3 offs, right? So four-day working week has been introduced, but I don't know how soon or how many companies are going to actually implement that. But yes, they have the flexibility, they can do it. Okay, so as per the labor law or as per the company policy, whatever they choose, you cannot work beyond 40 hours in 5 days. That is what the law states. It is in US also, it is somewhere in India, it is somewhere across the globe. Some countries have less than that. If you go into European countries, like Sweden, they have a 7-hour working day. They will not exceed that. So in that case, what will happen? 5 into 7, 35 hours,
35.
right? So that is what you have to define. So that time profile is very important. Now, it is not necessary that you follow a specific time. 9 to 6 means 9 hours that you're spending in office, right? You can start your work at any point of time, but at the end of the day, when you submit the timesheet, it will not exceed beyond 40. Okay, this is what the time profile is. So if I have to choose it, I will click on it and I'll get the values basically. So you see, standard hours 40. So you have 35, 37, 37.5 also. And then you have the locale. So I don't know if it will search it. No. So I'll have to search it little manually. I'll have to do. So Workday supports all language. If you see Bahrain, Arabic Egypt, Arabic Iraq, Arabic Lebanon. If you scroll it down, so there will be a lot of things. So what we will choose is English India, or you can choose English US, and you see the local country will automatically come. And then you have the time zone. If I select whatever the time zone is, there is one time zone in India, but if you go to US or any other place, right, there are actually 5 time zones.
I have a question.
Yes.
It might be a silly question, but for
That's
example, I'll put a situation here. So, for example, there is a company that is headquartered in US, and we are creating a location for them, but they have multiple locations in other countries. What
That's a
would be
different story. It will not come at this point. I will come to that point also, but not right now.
okay? Okay,
Right?
so this
So
is
we will
just
talk in that.
creating a task.
Yeah, we are just starting with first location. So let's
Okay,
understand that first. We will come to this
okay,
scenarios later on.
perfect.
Okay, so we have the standard hours, language, local country, time zone. Now, a person can choose their display language. As someone gave me an example, right? That you are starting your business in US, but you have another location in, let's say France. Okay. So in that case, I can choose the language as French. Okay, you see that? But right now I'm choosing English because I don't know any other language. If I choose anything else, all these things will change. See, you have Korean, Japanese, Arabic, you know, Chinese, Japanese, all these things are there. So if you choose it and if you don't know how to read it, then it will be difficult for you. So make sure that you only use English, and as this is a shared tenant. Okay, then you see country's default currency, it will automatically come. We will not be able to put it. But let's say I am working in India, but I am using a global currency, maybe USD. I can override that. Okay, I can override it to USD by using this. Does it say? Location default currency override. If you want to override it, you can put the value here, and this default currency will become USD. Okay. So right now, I am just going ahead and creating it with the default currency. I'm not changing it. And I'll go ahead and click on OK. Now my location is created, guys. So if you see, this section will be blank because we did not enter any information. Okay. But when you go into this section, which says contact information, there is one address. 3rd Street, Sitman House, Bandra, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. This is my primary. If I did not mark it primary, I would get an error that one address must be primary. This is the reason I'll have to mark this as primary. Now, why I have to mark this as primary? What is the reason behind it? So what happens, guys? that when you start or set up a company and you have multiple offices, there will be one office at one location, which is your head office. Okay. So if you're a global organization, you will have a global headquarters. And if you are expanded into all across the globe, then you will have regional headquarters. Then according to the region, you will have country headquarters. And based on that, you may have multiple offices at one location itself, right? So in those cases, what will happen? In that one location, you will have one primary office. What that will be, it may be your corporate office of that location, but you cannot have more than one primary office. This is the rule we all have to follow. You cannot breach that rule. Okay. So at one location, I may have 5 offices, and all those 5 locations are equally important. But one of them will be my corporate office, and that is basically your primary location. Generally, in all your communication, when you get a letter pad of the organization, everywhere that location will be mentioned as your primary office, but your work location could be different. But if you have to find the registered office, that will be that particular office. However, your work location could be different. Okay, that
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes.
Devashish.
Right.
Yes, Devash.
Yeah.
So what happens is you may join a company at one location and they will say that, okay, once your joining is complete, you can start reporting to this new office from this particular date. And this is your reporting person whom you have to contact, right? So once you go there, everything that you want would be ready. Your system, your place to work, everything will be ready. And you will be introduced you to the team, or if you're going to head a team, then your team will come and meet you, and then gradually you can start the work what you want to deliver. Clear? So this is the basic reason why you have a primary office. And if I need to add more addresses at this location, I can do that. I can go ahead and click on edit, or you can see these 3 dots. Basically, these 3 dots are called as actions. Okay. So whenever you see these 3 dots, you always have to remember that I have actions. And when you click on actions, you will get a lot of options. Now you see edit, location name, edit location usage, whatever you want to do. But let's say I'm clicking on edit. Okay. So I will get everything here. Edit name, edit location usage, or if I want to edit the details, I can do that. I want to go into the contact information and click on edit. I will be able to add another address. So I'll scroll it down. You see, I'm getting
On
an
the
option
top.
to add, right?
Yeah.
Right now, this is the location, this is the country, and I'll say 24th Street, okay, Nariman Point, right, Mumbai, postal code 500002, Maharashtra. And if I want to make this as primary, I want to change the head office, I will say this is primary, and now I can go ahead and click on OK. Once I click on OK, you will see 24th Street, Nariman Point, Mumbai. This has become my primary address now. This is no more primary. So you need to have at least one primary office. If you have only one office at that location, that will automatically become your primary. And if you don't check that box, hence you will get that error.
Okay. Devashi, what is that 3 dot coming? If you are pointing towards this business primary, 3 dots are coming, right?
I'm sorry.
Can you
Can
take
you
the pointer to business primary?
can you repeat that? I did not understand.
Can you take the pointer to business, the primary one? 3 dots are coming, right?
Yeah, it is actions. So wherever you see this 3 dot, it is basically your actions. So what did I say? When you click on this, you will get options. You have integrations, right? So in case you have any integration built, then you will get that. Right
Okay.
now, there's nothing. So wherever you see this 3 dots, it's always an action.
Okay.
That's what I've shown you here also when I was going ahead and doing it, right? Let me go back. You see this actions.
Yeah, correct.
Everywhere you see this 3 dot, it means actions. Always you have to remember this.
All right.
Okay, guys. Now we have been successful in creating the location. Any questions from anybody?
No.
No. Okay. So what did we see? Location. It's a physical address or entity where an employee joins to work in any organization. What is the task? Task is create location. And these are the 3 things that is mandatory. One, location name. Then the usage should be business site. Why? Because if I have to hire somebody, I can do that. We'll have to put the address, the time profile. Now, I have only mentioned the mandatory part here. Okay. So we got location, usage, address, time profile. Rest, everything that you saw are not mandatory, but all those things are important. We cannot skip it.
Okay, if there is a single location, like let's say headquarter, one office in one city or one region, place, then we will only mention primary, right, for that location.
Correct.
Yeah.
So primary always needs to be identified. If it is one only address or one office at one location, it will automatically become the primary. But you have location attributes, right? Where
Yeah.
you can specify if it is a a regional center, regional office, is it a training institute, whatever it is it like your warehouse, maybe whatever you want to specify, you can do that. Okay,